Greetings, you're welcome to Mailbox. My name is Wale and with me is
Addition.
On this episode of Mailbox, we have a couple of questions that we will be taking all over the world. The first question for today is from Tony from America, and the title is Paternity Shock. It says, I recently found out that none of the 3 kids I've raised with my wife are biologically mine. I'm still in shock and don't know how to face her or the children. My whole world feels like a lie. What should I do now?
Tony, so I think we've addressed something pretty much
Similar.
close to this like couple of months ago, like a mail that talked about this paternity shock. So first off, to start with, I like the fact that you said you raised the kids. So meaning that there's actually a bond, there's a relationship that you've created. This conversation is supposed to be with your wife. So I don't think you should actually be overthinking it. You just need to speak to her and talk to her about it. At least let her know that you are in the know. Now let's see how she's going to react to it, because truth be told, there's pretty much nothing you want to do about it. The question you ask yourself is, what exactly do you want to achieve with breaking the home? Now, if it's now a big deal for you, because of course, if you are just doing a paternity test and you are discovering that not the first, not the second, not the third, let's begin to ask you questions too, health-wise. Because of course, you can skip 1, it can be 2, but 3, there's a major fundamental foundational problem. It implies that you always miss all your wife's ovulation, or somebody is not fertile and it can't be your wife, it can be you, it must be you. So probably let's check out your own status health-wise, if you're pretty much okay, and if you're actually doing well as far as that is production is concerned. If the case is not about you having issues with production, then your wife should actually come correct as to what made her make those decisions. It's also possible that because she's gone far into this conversation, understand that there's a lot of issues you want to deal with now. So there's high tendency that it can be 3 fathers. So we are all looking at it as, oh, she has 3 kids. If the 3 are not your kids, it could be 2 fathers. It's slim for it to be 1. Most likely it's going to look like you're dealing with 2 other or 3 other guys. So it's like a bigger picture. This conversation, this journey is a long walk. So you must be ready and you must be patient to get to the bottom of it. And then you must also have a decision to want to make, even as from the beginning, that okay, oh, whatever the case may be, these children, they are still mine. I'm hurt, I don't feel okay with it, it's bad, it's whatever, but then because I raised them, at the end of the day, they would still be mine. Or you want to say, you know what, I don't think this woman has not been child. So don't allow, if you leave it to the storyline, it won't end well. Right. Because the storyline will be messy. So pretty much that would be what I would advise, that from the get-go, you really need to, because you need to be strong, you need to be prayerful about this decision, because it's a long walk and the conversation will start birthing
other things.
Several things, yeah.
Okay, so I'll take it from this perspective. 1, you've raised the 3 children over a long period of time.
No more, yeah.
There's a tendency for you to get emotional about this kind of conversation. In fact, the society will encourage you to be emotional and also, of course, castigate the woman as to whatever it is. But fundamentally, everyone who has put their hands on the plow, they can't afford to look back. And what do I mean by that? You're already in a relationship with this woman and it spans years. Now, you've been blindsided, you have been betrayed, you know, and there is the tendency for you to be very hot about this situation and all of that. But you've got to look at it that this situation could be a lose-lose situation. It could be you can still make it a win-win situation. All right. And you've got to choose which part you want to be, because now those kids who have been calling you father or daddy, all right, their life also can possibly change forever as a result of whatever your decision is. So being not emotional about this conversation, take a position as to whatever the outcome of this thing is. Now, the only person in question, maybe not, is the wife who then needs redemption, so to speak, which is how then do you resolve this particular situation and for her to be redeemed? Because for her to have kept this secret for a long period of time, then there is a whole lot about her, that you probably don't know, that you probably need to know, and then look at a way in which, you can rescue or save or redeem her, in the way of Christ. And that's the only thing that is left. So yourself, get yourself out of that emotional state as fast as possible. Number two, consider the children, because marriage or raising children is a responsibility. That's why if you go to the, what's it called now, the orphanages, right? They call people fathers, they call people mothers who never, birthed them biologically, but they call them fathers and mothers because they took responsibility. So responsibility is the same way, that, they call a father. So you've been a father, that can never change. So take that out of it. It doesn't have to be biological. You've paid school fees, you've attended PTA, you've done quite a number of things and all of that. You can never reverse that. All right. So just take your flowers, take your trophy, let that be, that you're not going to change that position. However, there is a subject to deal, which is the woman. How do you help her, in restoring her back or restoring her fellowship back to God, because there's a fundamental problem. I hope that has helped you, all right, to some extent. And this takes us to the next question. And this is from Liberia, Mark from Liberia. It says, my girlfriend has supported me financially during a rough patch, but now she talks down on my family and acts superior. She says, if not for her, I'll be nothing. I appreciate her help, but I'm hurt by how she treats the people I love. How do I handle this without losing my dignity?
You can't lose your dignity, Mark. It's just a word of mouth. So sometimes when people are being disrespected, there are decisions to be made by the person disrespecting. It takes two, and the person that has been disrespected. Sometimes when you're in a situation that you find that you're not comfortable with and is affecting you, it would be nice if that thing is major for you and is reducing your self-esteem, it would be nice to take yourself out of that picture till that person learns to be respectful, or if the person says this is who I've come to be, then I really don't think there's any reason why we really need to continue this journey again. Now, you said your girlfriend has supported you financially during a rough patch, but now she talks down on your family and acts superior. Then sometimes too, mentally, people that say other people act superior or that they talk down on them is a state of your mind. So sometimes this person is the same person that you know, right, but you just feel that because that financial strength is coming from this source, you begin to read meaning to every of my expression. Right. So it happens with people that because they know the money is coming from you, if I talk in a certain way, you say, why are you talking to me? But this is how I talk. So you really also need to work on yourself. It might really not be this person's fault. It might actually be your fault. You, the receiver, the way you're receiving everything this person says. Because most times when you see that people are in control of, whether they're in a place of authority, whether in control of cash, in control of resources, we begin to feel that they talk in a type of way, they look in a type of way. If it's that same person that's come through for you when you had the rough patch, understand that this person is a nice person. So if there are situations that could be pressure that is making her act in a certain way, or that it is you reading her in a different light. So how to handle it is, first off, you must have empathy. you must also be compassionate and you must be kind towards her. The fact that somebody is also like a breadwinner or somebody is a resource person doesn't mean the person knows it all, right, or is perfect in his person. So it's also important that you speak to the person, and there's a certain way you want to speak to that person, to say, oh, don't you think, can't you look at it differently? Because if that person that is the same person that's been nice to you, that's come through for you, trust me, I'm sure she still has a place in her heart to act normal, or to act better. So I think you should speak to her. You should also pray for her. She might be going through stuff that even you do not know, and she's not talking about it. So don't see it as her talking down on you, or that you're losing. Nobody's losing anything. Yeah. You talk anyhow, you do anyhow, it's to you. How you want to be addressed or where you want to be is left to you. So you can actually make that decision of speaking to the person or taking yourself out of the situation while you pray for her.
I mean, my perspective is this, which is looking at the entire conversation from a different prism. Now, this is the point. Now, when people have this kind of position, there's a tendency that they are also suffering from what we call inferiority complex.
Yeah.
Which means that, you feel that this thing is coming from this particular person, and so you are not pulling your weight. Now, the only way, the easiest way, is that the rough patch cannot be everlasting. Because if somebody has a rough patch, let's know that this thing is a rough patch. However, you must also enter into another phase of what exactly are you doing, because there might be a lot of pressure on her that is making her react in a certain way that she's not used to. She's never been in such position before. I like what you said about praying for her, but you're not just praying for her, you also need to pray for yourself to understand the dynamics of this new level. Now, one of the things we also understand is that God also corrects people with the rod of man. So if a man revolting against something, is that you should look at it from a different perspective. If she's helped at some point, is that help going to be everlasting? Is it going to be ongoing and you keep going through that same point? No, because she tells herself that when is this going to last? When is this going to end? So there are some things that you do. I mean, there are people who have been entrepreneurs as a man, all right, and they are not pulling their weight in their family and all of that. They go and take a job. Are you being idle as well while you're going through that rough patch? Are you trying? Because there must be an effort on your side. I don't think a woman who helps you in those trying times is also just going to, they're looking at your body language. Is it that, you're not trying, or you've given up, or you've thrown in the towel? Because some people actually get to that point where they don't want to do anything again because somebody else is pulling the weight. If you've gone through that process and you're trying as much as possible, making her understand that, be kind also with your words. Understand that the pressure is getting to her, which is why she's probably doing what she's doing. All right. So I hope this has helped you. All right. Get out of this particular thing. See it from a different prism, and you will get out in a short while. And to the next question, and possibly our last question for today, is from Anita, and she's from Nigeria, I want to believe. It says, last month, my husband hit me in the face. I didn't react. I just carried on with my day, cooked and cleaned the house. Later that day, he fell asleep. I hit him with broom. Now I'm wondering if I overreacted or if it is justified. He's still not talking with me.
Last month, my husband hit me in the face. I did not react. I just carried on with my day. Cooked. No, even you cooked.
Thank you.
I think, okay, so this is how I'm going to answer. Anita, they hit you in the face, you cooked, and you cleaned the house. That's even a major, that's a fundamental problem. You're supposed to, there's no more work the whole of that day. You shouldn't be. So this is an abuse, and we shouldn't actually be laughing over it because this is very sensitive. And then she said later in the day, when he fell asleep, I hit him with broom. Come on. So I think there's been WWF in that house. They've been actually having a kind
Royal
of
Rumble
fight in that house that they've not really been addressing because it looks fun to them. They hit you in the face, you clean the house. He sleeps like a poem. He sleeps. I use broom on his head. He doesn't even cut it. Is a toxic relationship. It doesn't look tidy. That a man will even comfortably hit you and he can sleep. There's a problem. You people need the help of God. And it starts from prayer, praying for each other, you know. So I see that you guys really also do not communicate, like you don't talk. Because for a guy that genuinely, love is missing actually. There's a lot of elements that
they could actually even call it love.
I'm being that is no, that's genuine. That's not that's a joke. If you have to be beating each other to show each other love, I mean that's crazy. So Anita, I don't think you guys genuinely love each other, because for your husband to actually be hitting you and be comfortable to continue life like nothing happened, that's a problem. Because on a normal day, when it shouldn't even be happening that you guys are hitting each other, that you are even insulting each other in itself is bad enough, talk less of hitting. So if they are giving you a slap today, what would happen tomorrow, and then what will happen next? So I think you should first of all address that, and it should stop. And when I say stop, it should be something that should stop, and it should be immediate. Because what I hear is that most people that start off like that, they don't ever stop.
Right.
So it begins to advance to other things that you might not even be able to control. And then two wrongs then would never make it right. So because if somebody has done that to you and has gone with it, so you two, you just kept quiet and you now use broom on your husband. What kind of a man would you be using broom on? So I don't think two wrongs, because at the end of the day, that broom will also still bring another fight. So there's something that has been done that is wrong to you. I think you should sit down. You should seriously, and this is not a joke, because he's like what do they call it now? This thing is chargeable in the law. Yes, that's the word. Violence. That's domestic violence. You can't be hitting your wife. It's all shades of wrong. And you two, you need to sit up, talk to your wife, speak to your husband, whatever the cause, whatever has been making you guys toxic to each other or abuse each other in that your relationship, it needs to stop. And it can't stop by talking about it. It starts, because love is an action word. You must act it out. You must begin to genuinely see your wife as somebody that you love. If she's annoyed you or done something that is wrong, you must be able to speak to her, not hitting her. And then same thing applies to you, the wife too. That husband has wronged you doesn't mean you should take law into your hand. You have to address it almost immediately and not say, because at the end of the day, it's violence for violence. Right. The guy has hit you on the face, you've used broom on his head, we don't know the next thing. And then don't forget that you guys also have kids. It's possible they have children. These children are watching what you guys are doing. It begins to form a certain habit or a particular terrain in the family where they see that everybody is fighting each other. If you are basing everything you do on the word of God, on the scripture that says you should love your neighbor as yourself, and then that can two work together except they agree. It implies that you have to practicalize all these things and begin to genuinely build a beautiful relationship and a good home.
My counsel would be this. I think people are incapable, once domestic violence comes in, they're incapable of resolving the situation. My recommendation is look for a Christian counselor and find expression and let them walk you through. There is an anger management situation here that things has to be done or unwrapped, so to speak. So before somebody hits someone, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So those conversations needs to be dealt with and then walk through the entire process. I hope that has helped you. until the next episode when we bring you, all right, other questions from all over the world on another episode of the Mailbox. I remain Olawale, and with me,
And I'm Addition.